today we're going to talk about something very special. We're going to take a look at your accounts, some of which you already sent me in and some of which we're going to choose together on the stream. And I'll basically walk you over the major reasons why I see creators fail, both in terms of getting followers, getting viewers, and then also making money with it. Because the number one issue that's constantly happening is, people start to create content and then they're like, yeah, cool. At some point, they're going to figure it out, right? If they follow all the systems and all the videos that I have. And then suddenly, after a year or two of things working well, they're like, oh, well, might as well make some money with it, because they started this whole thing as an afterthought, and then they completely basically die because they have no idea what to do in terms of monetization. At this point, algorithms have changed, everything's going downhill, and they're depressed, which is something I obviously don't want you guys to have. So we're going to talk about all of these things. Number one actually is, and here's what's up. For today's session, I actually dumbed down or actually simplified a lot of things because, I know there's a lot of things to take in, but obviously, I know we have limited time, and I want each and every one of you to kind of, get out of the session to kind of know exactly what to do. Figure out some mistakes that you might be doing as well. And with that being said, so there's basically three major issues here, out of which these two are the ones that will, make you be stuck in terms of either, in terms of a reach ceiling. For example, people always call the 200 view jail or 1,000 view jail or whatever it is. And it's almost never possible to, usually it's like this. It's not like a full ceiling, but, people have issues kind of breaking out of that, as opposed to this is how it usually looks with a healthy account. So the first question I have for you, who here is part of this club and who here is part of this club? Let me know in the comments. I actually have not seen the chat box yet, so bear with me here for a second. And here's what's up. I don't see the comment box. Oh, there you go. So, no, still not. Oh, there you go. Okay, so, okay. Let me just make this a little smaller, I guess, because desktop. I'm still waiting, the awkward delay and stuff. Nope. I should have prepared this live stream, but we've just had some bunch of things. Okay, so we're good. So here is what's up. There's a bunch of stuff deleted by Florian. Why is that? Makes me think. Okay. But so first club. There you go. By the way, I have not seen anybody. Only Patrick Moore said ZMLK 77400. So that's the only person who can actually hear what's going on, which is kind of interesting. So yes. First club. Nick James, hello. Shadowmere, first club. Soars, first club. So you guys are all struggling to kind of break out of this sort of view mark, I guess. Aura Ascent, please check. What does that even mean? What should I check? Struggle with hooks, gang. Yes. Okay. Argam, hello. Part of our cohort. And okay. So as you can see right here, most people who are online here are struggling obviously with the first two things. So profile, basically profile optimization, and with the hooks. And these things actually are interconnected in the sense that, yes, without good hooks, people are not going to check out your profile. And without a good profile, people are not going to follow you, which means you're going to stay slow. So this is kind of slow down. So you're most likely just being all the way down and you just can't grow. And you're in this, what I just showed you before. Let's do it in two different colors. Basically, this is how it looks like. Then it looks like you're in some sort of view ceiling, right? And there's actually a few reasons and a few things here about kind of figuring out where you are. And let's actually go on a little tangent right here, okay? Because before we analyze some of your profiles, I want you to really understand the whole algorithm side of things, because you guys are always like, oh, the algorithm, Dominik, the algorithm is such a horrible person. I don't know what to do. The algorithm's bad. And here's what's up. Yes, the algorithm is not bad, but the algorithm is a real thing. And you got to get it on your site. But how do you get it on your site? Ha ha ha. What a surprise. Creating awesome content, aka starting with the hooks, and then having a profile that actually converts over to followers. Okay. Now, this should be your only basically objective for the next few weeks, months, until you hit a certain few metric view count, follower count threshold, right? In the cohort. And by the way, I recently also started a brand new thing called the Creator Sprint, which is basically taking all the concepts that we have from my big creator mentorship one-on-one, which is basically full until at least August. But yeah, we took this all and wrapped it around some what we call the Creator Sprint. And it's basically you going either through the whole frameworks that we have, all the frameworks that we have by yourself. We've also created this option. Don't ask me how long we're going to leave this open. But also, we have multiple other options. For example, one where we help you in a one-on-one setting, basically with milestone-based calls. You can book in up to 5 calls with us, and we're going to help you basically implement some of these things and, basically all of these things, the whole sprint curriculum. So you actually, know what to do and do it the right way so you can actually grow. With that being said, so here's what's up. Let's not come here, but let's come here. So just to kind of make you understand the algorithm, right? The Instagram algorithm, there's basically a few thresholds. And this is also a major point that I talk about in the creator sprint. And Argem, who's here, awesome, creator mentorship client, is basically kind of getting into one or 2, 3 different, what do you call it? I call them milestones, basically, right? So milestone 1 would be one thing where you have up, 3 to 4K followers right around, right? There's not like a clear ceiling, but 3 to 4K views per video. That's actually what I wanted to say. Views per video. Milestone 2 would be, more, let's say 5 to 10K views per video, and milestone 3, obviously more than that. But also comments, right? Do you get comments at all? A bunch of comments here and there, a bunch of actual comments of people who really watch you, or nothing, crickets in that sense. And how many followers do you have, right? Same thing here. Milestone, why did I say 3? It's actually 2. Beautiful for everybody who can actually read what I'm writing here. But it's basically, you also get comments that are more like, more than 3-word comments, right? Or more than an emoji as a comment, but actually something that goes into your video. Now, the thing is, the algorithm has what we figured out, because basically that's all I do day in and day out, working with all these creators, is analyzing and taking a look what's working right now across different niches, what's working across the board, and what things are not working anymore, what kind of algorithm updates are happening and stuff like this. And one thing I have noticed is, first of all, there seems to be a few thresholds in terms of the algorithm. And the only way to hit them is to actually post a lot, right? This is why I basically have people, I force people to post just by the nature of this whole thing. Because without posting a lot, nothing ever that I say helps. Actually, I was just today looking at the applications here for basically people who want me to review their accounts or content strategy. And so many of you guys say, well, I don't get reach, but you have like 4 videos up there, right? It's just crazy to me. Obviously, I can't even help you because first you're going to start to post. But there's the first creator classification, which is basically a non-creator classification. I would call it hobbyist, which is just like a personal profile. And basically, whenever you stop posting, or if you don't post a lot, Instagram will down rank you down there, and you will not be able to reach a lot of new people, aka non-followers, right? Because that's what you want to hit. You want to hit with your content as many non-followers as possible, because only then you can grow, because only then you can kind of teach the algorithm and make these non-followers to return viewers, right? But let's not even get into that. Now, how do you kind of get out of this threshold? First of all, what I have seen is a lot of times it's not 100% set in stone. So, all these rules, unfortunately, are no real rules on Instagram. It's just a little bit of a mess. But one thing I've noticed is right around 1,000 followers is when things usually change in terms of reach and in terms of Instagram categorizing you and putting you into the first, what I call creator category, right? Now, the thing is, just having 1,000 followers doesn't help at all. You can have 50K followers and still kind of lose your spot in, these thresholds. And all of these thresholds basically mean more views and more organic reach. Now, in order to hit that, you have to post at least 3 to 5 times a week with good targeted content. And only then you're gonna create, or I forgot to finish this. ADHD or what? Creator, right? If you don't post 3 to 5 times a week, let's say you start to ghost for a while, or life comes in the way and nothing's happening, you're going to be downranked again and you're not a creator anymore. Which means when you start posting, you're going to have issues getting reach, right? But that's just a normal thing. How do you get out of it? Posting a lot, right? Reason why I'm saying this is recently our old friend Maziri actually talked about this. And he's like, yeah, we kind of figured out that this is an issue that we have on the platform, that the algorithm doesn't get a lot of data when you stop posting for a while. So we kind of don't show it to more people just because we don't know what to do with it. Now, they say they're trying to fix this right now, but you know how it's like with Instagram when they're trying to fix things. Usually things go worse for a while. Now, the only reason out of that is a framework that we've started to create, basically a few months ago, and that we have every creator go through in our, creator mentorship and also the creator sprint, is the 60-day framework, which is, basically, and let me just give you a quick overview so you can get started right away to kind of do what you need to do here. It's basically just to post a lot, right? Over 60 days, you need to commit to at least 3 to 5 times a week of posts. And I know you're going to ask already, what kind of posts? Commit to 90% reels, right? And the rest stories. Yes, you can do carousels. We can talk about this later, but let's just focus on one thing right now. The one thing that's guaranteed to help you grow, right? Carousels only if you're not really or if you're really like a graphic designer who knows how to do these things. But yeah, it's basically doing that for 60 days. Okay. So that's quite a long time. Coincidentally, the creator sprint is also 60 days. And, there's other parts of the strategy coming in, obviously creating good hooks, understanding your target audience, implementing trial reels if you have them already. By the way, and I need to go full screen for that one. We have some. Did we have this up here for a while? Man. But yeah, by the way, there's a way to actually get trial reels if you don't have it yet, which is kind of a crazy thing. There's a secret link, right? And I've been testing this out with clients inside the creator mentorship for a while. And so far, it seems like 70% of people who use this link actually are able to unlock trial reels, even if they didn't have that before. So actually, because you guys are here right now, let me give you this link right now, just because. Let me just try to find this really quickly here, and then we'll get right started into the whole. There you go. Into the whole review thing, basically. But so basically, you're going to go here, creators.instagram.com/blog/Instagram trial reels. I will basically, there you go. Here's the link. And we just basically figured this out by coincidence, right? Because everything I do is just all day long being a weird internet nomad, trying to click links and trying to figure out stuff. But you need to go to this link with your phone, right from your phone. And what you need to do is go to Instagram. There's a button, but when you're on the phone, it's going to say something like create a reel or something like that, or create a trial reel. A lot of the times, if you click on this one from this only through this link, through this website, you're going to be, the whole Reels thing is going to open and you're going to be able to create a trial reel. Now, it doesn't work with everybody, so don't come crying, but it's, we have like around 70% of people that have used that. Seems to work. So use it while you still can. And yeah, now here's what's up. Let's go back here to full screen. Here's what's up, my friends. Let's go back to actually this one. We're going to focus on these three things today, mostly. This thing only if it makes sense, okay? Because here is what's up. This thing is not going to help you if, obviously, these things don't work. And until you have around 4,000-ish views organically on average, right? With around, let's not even get into it, but with some obviously non-followers that you reach, and you get some comments that are more than 3 words, don't even think of this, right? Afterwards, the sky's the limit. But before we get started, I want to know who here has around 4,000 views at least and some real comments. I'd love to know. And there's the awkward delay that I'm going to have to fill. So, yeah. Oh. Somebody's asking a very interesting question. If I had access to trial reels and then it got taken off my account, should I be concerned? Well, Instagram, they are always doing split tests with a bunch of things. And I don't think you should be concerned in the sense that you were downranked, but you're probably just in some sort of split test group. Happens all the time. A lot of accounts still have not the new portrait grid, but the old square grid. A lot of accounts still have that. So there's that. Brandon asks, combined or per post? No, per post, obviously combined. You could create 4,000 videos with one view. What's flying here? And then, so no, per post, per reel mostly, or the reach with the carousel. We have Aranyak, your guide to the AI world. I have around 2,000 views with 8 reels and around 10 followers. Okay. Actually, not bad. Half those views, but many comments. That's also something very interesting. What kind of comments are those, though? Are they real good comments that ask about whatever's in the video? Full on debates in my comments. So this is awesome. That's how it should be. One of the actual growth hacks that we have still is literally trying to get people to fight in the comments. Now, just to let you know here, I'm not allowed to talk a lot as per requirement from my doctor. I just lost my voice basically for a week again, and I've been losing my voice quite a bit recently. And it turns out there's something. And doctor says, just whatever you do, don't post live, don't go live, because that seems to strain your voice a lot. So I'm gonna try to speak a little lower. So yeah. Now, cool. With that being said, let's take a look at the first account that we have coming up here. First, I'm gonna pick somebody who basically sent it in, and then I'm gonna pick you guys, essentially. So, right. First one that we have is profile and let me know if you're here. Obviously, then it's way better if you're here. But first one being, where's the button? There you go. First one being Mohak. And basically, I guess he said there's some, he has trouble with getting reach, as everybody does. And yeah, so he's basically a photographer and trying to slow my otherwise fast life. Interesting bio already. I love observing New York City with and without my camera. Musician, listen to my latest song here. Spotify, a link that's making me get a headache. So, okay. Now, 1955 followers. Okay, why not? Actually, let me just pull this here. 1955 followers, 1,199 following. Now, usually when taking a look at these things, you have to, first of all, kind of, understand what do people think when they come? Like, what's the first impression of your account, right? And the first impression that I have, apart from the bio that I honestly believe is okay-ish, there's some interesting pieces here, but the way it looks pretty professional, right? By the way, let's just pull it in. Let's just take a screenshot right here and pull it in our AI software that we have in the Creator Mentorship / the Creator Sprint. There's not even a link, right? There's not even a link for this, but we actually have opening week this week. You can get in, basically. Let me just post a link down there. There you go. There you go. But here's what's up. So if you're part of the Creator Sprint, not the lowest tier, I have to say, but starting from the second tier, you get access to the Creator Mentorship AI Hub. And this is basically what it looks like. We basically consistently add things to it and make things better. And basically, there's a bunch of things you can do. We have the script architect. We're going to talk about this a little later, which basically helps you, create way better scripts. And they are responsible for millions of views at this point. We have the hook analyzer, which, by the way, you get for free as well. My last video that I posted, which nobody watched. Thanks for that. Thanks, Obama. But you get that for free right there, so you can use that right now. And yeah, we have other stuff like research, profile analysis. That's something that I'm gonna pull you through, my dear old friend Mohak, because this tool actually shows you whether the algorithm has, what's going on here? Whether the algorithm has, look at this, there's something wrong. Whether the algorithm has categorized you and whether you have similar creators being shown next to your profile, right? Okay. But with that being said, what I want to do is the bio and profile optimization. And basically, we're going to make a short version of this whole thing here to not overcomplicate things. But basically, people just need to pull the screenshot in, and yeah, it looks a little clunky, but we've created it ourselves with hundreds of hours basically poured in at this point. And then we say, copy and paste the bio into the chat box. So we come here and we copy and paste the bio here, including the link, and then include your goals, which is basically, I say goals, getting more followers and views. Obviously, this should not be your goals. You should put your actual real goals. And avatars, assume. In this case, never put this in, but yeah. And then we're just going to let this thing think for a while. And while we wait, because it might take a while, might have noticed that I don't drink dirty water anymore these days because I literally can't. This is my voice issues. So, yeah, maybe it was the dirty water. So, okay. Here's what's up. Welcome, blah, blah, blah. provide me with a copy. It seems like, yeah. So obviously, if you're part of this whole thing, you have what we call a vision clarity blueprint and stuff like this. Assume everything for showcase purposes. And then I'm just going to pull this screenshot in there again. Because obviously, to really optimize your bio and to really make things click so that you can get, people to follow you, obviously you need to know who are your avatars, like who are the people that you actually want to target and how do you want to target them, because only then avatar, we're just going to leave that here. And then also your goals, because it depends. Goals, because it totally depends on your goals, on how you can structure it, stuff like this. Okay, so kids, don't show this to your teacher. That's not how you spell avatar. But okay, so we got something here, and so the first thing this does is analyze this profile of M Mohawk. So first one, the profile picture is nice and captures an artistic vibe. However, it's essential for a photographer to ensure their face or a clear visual identifier is prominent to build personal recognition and connection. Now, I totally agree with that. What a surprise, because I basically trained this whole thing on probably millions of data points from myself at this point. But here's the thing. You have the category photographer, and I hope at some point the AI will say, remove this here, because it's just going to distract people. People need to understand what you are without seeing a category right here. But you're a photographer, okay? And especially with photographers there's like 1.5 million photographers on Instagram, obviously, because that was the platform for photographers initially. And as a result of that, right now, it's getting really crowded and it's getting really hard to kind of pierce through. And years ago, I made a video about like how to grow as a photographer. Still stands, by the way. But the reason why, for example, I would follow a photographer is just because of personality and emotion, right? I'll actually have a video coming soon where I also kind of explain a little bit more about this whole process. But obviously, your profile picture needs to reflect that. And I see a very small silhouette of a person. But, this is actually very big here. If we, people watch this on the phone screen. So it's probably looks like this, more like, right? If you understand what I mean. And then it's like, I can't see what the context of this is, right? You see a video, which at the first glance, they look very cool, but we're going to look. But something here, so we're not sure. So ideally, you show yourself a little clearer, still in a nicer way. Now let's continue with this thing and hope it didn't crash. Consider using a profile picture where your face is more visible, perhaps with a camera, right? Ensure the image is bright and your facial features are recognizable for easy identification. Yes, I agree. Next thing is going to analyze your following count. Well, it didn't recognize that correctly, but it's totally fine. You're following. Oh no, it actually did. Oh, it almost did. 1,900 accounts and have 1,955 followers. The slightly higher following to follower ratio and exceeding 1,500 can impact the trust score. So one thing we have figured out is that if you follow more than 1,000 to 1,500 accounts, this impacts your sort of trust score because the algorithm's like, well, we can't even show everybody to this profile, right? Now, my bot misrecognized this for, 1,500 and above. I would still recommend you to go below 1K, to be honest, just to kind of make this a little cleaner right there. Now, where are we? So, current bio. Actionable suggestion. Let's see what this whole thing comes up with, and I'll tell you my actual, improvements. Strengthen the personal connection. or intrigue in the first line, right? I think this is already pretty good, trying to slow my otherwise fast life, because that is sort of a hook, like, right? This is an open loop. So my first question that I have in this, with this sentence is, like, why do you have a fast life? What's going on? This paired with the fact that you are from NYC, lots of people would love to live there and work there. Just based off of this, people might be like, okay, cool. This is the hook point that you want. So you need to kind of work with that even more. So if you're focusing on growth, and that's actually a very good suggestion, Dominic, too, avoid links if you have a smaller audience to keep attention on the page. Suggest using a link in bio tool for consolidated links. Well, that's something. Probably means Linktree or something like this. But yes, so here's what's up. One thing that I think is really sort of making people confused, and whenever there's some mismatch, people are going to leave. And that's the worst thing you can do, because, yeah, it's just bad. Let's not even confuse you too much. Is the second line being musician? Listen to my latest song right here. So people come from your content. That's kind of cool. See, you're a photographer trying to slow down. So you open a loop, and then NYC, another trigger thing, and then musician. And then people are like, well, this is absolutely not what I came for. I don't want to see another musician. So you have sort of like these two big barriers that you kind of build for yourself, which is, first of all, being a photographer. Second of all, being a musician. And being a musician is even a higher barrier, because there's, a lot of them are annoying. And I'm just not saying that. There's, I might be one as well. But do I tell people right now? At least not at this stage, because you'd be like, what the hell? Don't try to sing, Dominic. Should I sing? Should I play? But yeah. Now, so I would totally get rid of that and kind of play with these open loops to kind of keep that emotional standpoint. If you want to have a link, this long link is just going to make people be confused and be like, oh no, this is some spammy thing. Probably Instagram thinks the same. So ideally at the beginning, and this is what I recommend for all of my clients, is until they hit a certain follower metric, or at least until they see a positive trend in view numbers, and basically kind of where you notice you're a creator, basically, don't even have a link in there. And if you do, I actually don't even have one, right? So this is basically the most important thing right here. But let's keep watching, because let's see what's up. Story highlights. Okay. Obviously, I didn't even look at your story highlights. Cool. Dubai, NYC. Well, we could have met, man. What were you doing in Dubai? See, now I'm like, I have connections. I'm like, oh, I know Dubai. I live there. Surprise. Where were you? What have you done? Oh, this is literally where I have a boat as well. Not a big one like this, but I could be here because mine looks sort of like this one. Not even kidding. Sort of funny. Cool. Awesome. So, yeah, but that's basically about it. So, let's continue here. Pin posts. Here, my tool gives you bias suggestions, and these are not just take them and copy and paste them, but basically just think about like what elements could be good ones, and mix and match, and kind of try to figure this out. NYC and travel photographer. Yeah, it's a little slimy. Music and lens travels. Okay, I think it's better than the one that you currently have. Slowing down fast-paced NYC life, one click at a time. I kind of love that. There, if you want to say you're a musician, okay, just with one thing. Your journey begins here. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not bad, to be honest. Here, it gives you highlights. and some other stuff. But yeah, basically that's what I would change here without even looking at the content. And as you can see here, everybody, yep, a lot of work goes in before you even, and just for me, and so do other people. People watch one video, and if one video is good, aka if the hook is good, people come here. And then it's basically your whole profile is your second hook. And if something is off, like any of the things that I just talked about, they're gone. And then the algorithm sees, okay, we have one profile view, cool, but this person instantly leaves, bad. And if this happens a lot, very bad. 3x's. So yeah. Now, right. Let's take a look at one video, just because I want to look at one video before we continue to the next one. So yeah, just you guys let me know if you can hear, because I'm not sure.
Hey, this is Mohawk, and you're watching episode 2 of The Art of Escaping Your Workplace, where I'm going to tell you how to slow down your fast life.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, I see the problem. Do you guys see the problem too?
Hey, this is Mohawk.
Okay, so first of all, it starts off pretty good with a voiceover, and I have to tell you, voiceovers are things that you just need because, basically, I always explain this to people and, working with me, that you want people to have your voice at the back of your head at some point, right? You want people to know your voice with all the little details, with the weird accent. A lot of people are, just recently had this conversation with a client. And she's like, yeah, I have an accent. Isn't that weird? I want to kind of, I don't want to show my accent because it's kind of vulnerable and things like that. It's going to, people are not going to like it. But honestly, I think the opposite, unless you have like an accent that's totally unrecognizable where you don't even know what's going on. But, even me, I have like a whole bunch of, a mix of the whole world at this point. So, it's something recognizable. One thing I remember as a kid, one thing I loved a lot was Jackie Chan, right? With his accent. So, it's not like, oh, he has an accent, I'm not going to watch this movie. It's like, it's that instantly, it's like another one of these emotional trigger hook points to kind of keep people, basically hooked to you as a creator. Now, the hook here, and now we're getting into hook territory. The hook here is kind of okay, but then everything breaks and falls apart. So, where are we? Let's take a look again. Washington Square Park, beautiful shot, instantly recognizable.
Hey, this is Mohawk.
You start, hey, this is Mohawk. Already something I wouldn't necessarily say because people don't care at this point. Nobody cares about who you are or what you do at this point. And they're like, okay, hey, this is Mohawk, Hawk, whatever. And then you overlay the art of escaping your workplace. I kind of like that because this opens a loop. Like if I want to escape my workplace, awesome, right? But the question is why and like what actually do you want to escape? So you need to be clear about like the avatar for this video. Who are these people actually? Who are these people that want to really escape the workplace? You need to understand who they are. But yeah. Another thing that I think could be done better, it's kind of hard to read. It's good. I would make this font a little thicker. This one too. It looks a little off and it's a little hard to read, right? With the white on the bright background and stuff like this. So I would play around with this a little more.
And you're watching episode 2 of the...
One thing I tell everybody to stop doing are these sort of, what are they called? Animations, templates, or something's just animating in. It just looks cheap. And honestly, it kind of looks hard to read here as well. So I like that you say episode 2 of Living a Slower Life, basically signature series. I don't know if we talked about this already, but in the Creator Sprint, we definitely will talk about this. Because that's one way of really, really blowing up. There's like creators who blew up like crazy just from creating these series, because that makes people come back, basically forces people to come back. But again, like, okay, cool. This is like living a slower life. So now by this point, I'm like, cool, I want to live a slower life as well. I kind of like the contrast that you're in a very busy city and yet you're able to live a slower life. So I'm like, cool.
Episode 2 of The Art of Escaping Your Workplace, where I'm going to tell you how to slow down your fast life.
So far, I love it. Also, people, I guess that's you. Hello. Well, but then it falls apart. See, the first time, only now, because I was just thinking, like, what should I draw? Should I draw something in your face? But then I decided against it. But I just can't stop. And some earrings. But and baseball cap. I just can't. Yeah, anyway. I only stopped here because I just wanted to mess around with this. But here's what's up. You have something down there. You have long walks with your loved ones. That's actually a good point. I didn't see that point before. Why? Because you didn't talk about it. And because it's just in a very hard to read font down there. So this doesn't even count as a point for me. And picking up see, it's even hard for me, a long lost hobby. So it's not bad. I like the idea, but the execution is a bit off. So especially because you start off talking. So people, just by doing that, you set an expectation and then you stop talking and then people are going to be gone. Now, what you want to do is go to your edits app and look at the retention graph and probably see how this whole thing falls apart as soon as you stop talking. I can almost guarantee you that it looks sort of like this. So what I would just do is create this, make this a little easier to read. And second of all, continue talking throughout your script. Now, obviously, the script itself.
Hey, this is Mohawk, and you're watching episode 2 of The Art of Escaping Your Work.
So here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to take your caption because it looks like it's a caption. It looks like it is a caption, but it looks like it's sort of like your script. And I'm just going to pull it through the script architect just to kind of help me come up with some starting points. Again, I need to say for testing purposes. And let's just see what's going on. Now, the way this whole thing works is once you put in your script, you can also kind of dive deeper. So what I would do next is literally just play around with the hook. Because the hook, I actually only want you guys to just think of, again, these things. Your hook, your profile, and then once you're at this threshold, your monetization, right? Nothing more. But yeah, already noticed my voice at this point already. We're not even half an hour in. Oh, we're an hour in? What the hell? So while we're waiting, what's going on in the comments, my friends? I'm gonna answer some questions in a second. So what's happening here is, first of all, it's gonna analyze, what your script is about. In this case, it's not really a script, so I should have told this there. But let's just see. Basically, this whole thing at all times gives you different hooks. So, for example, a pattern interrupt hook. Feeling lost in the chaos Here's how to escape. Yeah, and again, as with all things I create, they should always be a mix and match. So it's never one thing and go. Always use your brain, because your brain is actually the best one. Usually, once you train it. Escaping. Work isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Work needs balance. What if the little joys could reset your day? I think that's actually a pretty good one. And play around with that, or go a little deeper to research, like, what could I do with this? And then as a text overlay, literally what you had. I wouldn't have a statistical hook in a video like this, but the architect couldn't know that. Last weekend, I rediscovered joy amidst New York City's chaos. This is actually also a good one that I would kind of go a little deeper. I would go with, last weekend, I rediscovered serenity or quietness amidst New York City's chaos, right? And then we're not even gonna go further into it. But yeah, basically, that's what it would change. I kind of love that. It already looks good, so I would, again, just think of these things, and you're on a very good path. Awesome. Now, I need to give my voice some rest. So who wants to take over? Yeah, but I'm up for a few Q&As, for a few questions. And then we'll take a look at another one. Just going to wait here. Come with all of your questions. Cool. How many profiles have applied for review? I think it was more than 400 this time. So, yep. Quite a few. You said that putting links in bio is bad for small creators. What if it's for business? Well, generally speaking, with a profile, especially if you're a smaller creator, you want to, if we just go back to this example right here, you want to basically keep all the attention naturally to, take a look at the videos and the content and the stories and your stories. And why didn't you have a story, man? And you don't want to kind of disrupt the attention by having them click off, because as soon as they click off, it's done. Now, if you have a business and you want to basically promote something, there's one thing you can and should do, which is creating content around your business and then attaching ManyChat automations to it. It's the thing you should be doing anyway.
This is Mohawk, and I'm a cinema.
I love this. Let's not talk. We already talked about this, but I already would have a million things to say just based off this 1 second. So yeah, basically that. Does boosting posts ruin the accounts? No, doesn't. Unless you boost the wrong way and boost with some people that are not really helping. So somebody not from your target audience. So, yep. Ideal analytics when it comes to retention plus view duration. Well, the funny thing is there's no one number that's important or one number you need to hit. It's always like a combination of things going together, right? So let's just say basically how the algorithm works is it always kind of rates your content in relation to other content, basically, and especially other content within your target audience. So let's say you have a very short video, and the retention is 300%, but you have 5 comments, but 10% more shares than usual. You're going to most likely blow up, compared to the others because you have a very high retention rate. So in this case, the retention rate was the one that made you blow up. Let's say you have a long video that's a minute long, but it has a retention of 30% or 20%. So it's sort of underperforming. But you have 300% more comments. This is, by the way, why there's the comment rate and the like rate in the edits app in the analytics. Then suddenly the comments take over, and this is the reason why you blow up. By the way, this is a ManyChat thing. So there's that. And that literally is a growth hack. I'll have a video about this coming up pretty soon. But yeah, so there's not one single metric that you need to hit. Just be intentional and kind of be aware of what kind of metric you want to target with each video. You can't hit them all, right? So think about it. You want to create a video that keeps them glued with a long storyline where they watch probably multiple times or watch one time and then take some action, saving, sharing, commenting, DMing, and then just keep this action in your mind when you create the script. And then just do that and just target for that. And fun fact, at some point, you're going to have this one topic. Then you can say, okay, for this topic, my goal was saves. Now for this case, it should be comments. And you can literally take the same topic and just think, okay, how can I get comments with this whole thing? You know, easy as that. Yeah. How much content do creators need to be posting, considering the content is good? Ideally, so always considering the content is good, there's like a minimum threshold. Oh yeah, and I forgot something. Let's do something. Myra, do you have content already? And do you think it's good? Send me your profile. I want to know. Because that's kind of ties into what I wanted to say. So remember this threshold, the creator categories and stuff like this. The minimum you have to do is 10 posts a month. A month? Yes, 10 posts a month. Am I stupid? Yeah, 10 posts a month. Yeah, so 10 posts a month. Do I just have a brain fart right now? But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. 10 posts a month is the minimum. So it's around 3 to 4 a week, which does not make sense. But yeah, I think they said 10 posts a month plus. But ideally, you at least create 3 to 5 per week. Okay? For some time. At some point, you know, and then it depends on your ability to create content and your audience. At some point, you're going to hit some exhaustion level. Basically, you're going to reach all the people that you can potentially reach. Then you're going to have diminished returns. But generally speaking, you can't post too much, right? But you're going to see. We've had a creator once who went from posting 3 times down to 2 times a day, and his reach was significantly dropped. We've had creators who went from 7 times a week down to 5 times a week, and the reach increased because they were focusing more on quality content. So it always depends. But yeah, there is a way to actually make, figure out whether the algorithm has, and now I'll delete it again, has basically categorized you into this first creator category. I'm still trying to figure out a way to kind of make this available for all of you guys. But let's just, and I'm still waiting for Myra to show me her account. But yep. Essentially, if not, I will take a random other example. I see Mara's beating around the bush. So we're just gonna, you don't have to show me your account if you don't want to. So let's just take another one here. So drop me your account. Okay, Americana Crypto. Mara posted it up above. Unfortunately, I didn't see it. Post it again. I will check it out. But let's take Americana Crypto right there. There you go. So in this case, the only thing I want to kind of try to figure out is whether this account is already sort of what's it called? Categorized as a creator. And I just see Instagram has unlocked something they took away from us, which is good for you guys. Is this button. This button is actually going to help you a lot. It used to be gone for months, but I had a way to kind of unlock this. But it's called similar accounts. So if you click on similar accounts and you find people that are related to you, that's a good thing. So if there's people in your niche, if you click here, that's actually a good thing. Here I can see these are people that I potentially know in real life, people that I haven't seen in a long time, man. So means your account is not categorized yet. That usually happens when you hit 1,000 followers, okay? But let me actually just still, because, right now I'm on this with my account, but let's actually reverse engineer the algorithm in a way and analyze your profile here with our profile analysis system that you guys will get access to if you take part in the creator sprint, for example. Let's just wait here really quickly. So yeah, just as I expected, it says no related profiles found because it's still too early. Okay. Now, yeah, that's basically how it works here. And let's just take another one just because I want to know. Let's take Dr. Jacob Gooden. You know why? Because the doctor basically intrigued me. So I'm like, cool. Okay, so Dr. Jacob Gooden. See, as you can see here, this is gone, which is interesting because it's gone for most people. So there's no way to kind of figure out. But he has 4,000 followers. Let me just quickly look at the views. They are, well, at least they're there, and there was some sort of increase. Okay, so what we're going to do is pull him in there and see what's going on really quickly. Ta-da! And it comes up with 80 related profiles. Disregard the NA. Again, it's something that we developed. But basically, it's taking a look into the algorithm and trying to see what does it kind of connect your account with, right? Dr. Jacob Gooden says, for context, I was off Instagram for 10 years and I got back last month. Okay. Well, that's interesting. A long time. So you have an old account, but you have some views. Now, if we go here, we can instantly see Justin Lima. And let me know if there's any people that you recognize. But Strength Coach Network already looks promising. There you go. There's a competitor of yours. They have terrible engagement. But at least it's very similar. Who else? Coach 'em Up podcast. Let's not even Coach Zico. There you go. Terrible content, but okay. still, I would say it's part of your target audience. And basically, let's just take another one just because I want to. And usually the ones on top are the ones that are more related to you. Cool. Also, I instantly see a gap, or I kind of see lower quality competitors of yours show up here, which tells me that the algorithm kind of puts you into the same category as them. Obviously makes sense if you stop posting for a while, but as you can see here, 100K followers, very low view numbers for 100K, and then following 3,500 people. That's you. Let's just go back here, or not. Let's go again here. Wiley, also low, a lot of followers, sort of lowish views, but like looks just terrible. Honestly, not sure why he has so many views, but yeah. So yeah, basically that's how it works. Again, you're gonna get access to this if you're part of the creator sprint. There you go. I think I need to make this even smaller. There you go. And yep. Oh yeah, let's take a look at Myra's. Did I did I miss it again? I totally missed it again. There you go. I've had my account since 2009. How is that even possible? 2009. But okay. So 2,000 followers, 1,500. First thing, get these down. Musician. Okay. But yeah, basically, let's just take a look into this whole tool again. But then we're going to stop with this tool because I could just sit here for hours with this. There you go. And it did find some people, and there was... No, it did not, because that's still from the old. No related profiles found. And just because it's interesting for me, I want to take a look at your new account. Yeah, and I can almost guarantee you that, as you can see, it seems like there is something coming up, but I'm sure it's people that you might know in real life. So yeah, that usually means you're not categorized yet. So yeah, that's basically it. Cool. Any questions in the meantime before we take a look at another one? Myra asks, why would I want to get it down? Talking about the followings. It's because Instagram categorizes you as a lower trust profile. Because, obviously if you follow 1,600 people, that shows the algorithm, well, this person basically follows so many people, which means it's hard for them to watch all of the people that they follow, which means reach is going down because of them, because we have to kind of tune up the algorithm. So, yeah. What if your niche is too niche? Well, depends. If there's just nobody in your industry, nowhere on the internet, and it's crickets, then you might be too niche. But honestly, you can't be too niche. You can have like 500 views per video with a very, very unique, closely guarded niche, but you reach exactly those people and their pain points. And even with that, if you do it the right way, you can make a lot of money with it, So honestly, I think it's just by trying it out and seeing where it takes you and doing some research. Yep. Cool. So here's what's up. Or have it. Here's how I want, like, if you want me to take a look into your account, here's how to get picked. Let me know. Don't just post your account, obviously. You need to hook me. That's your first exercise here, your first training lesson. You basically need to hook me. What's your problem? What's interesting about you? And why should I pick you? Tagging me on Instagram might help. I'm not saying it will, but it might help. Yeah. And also, just to kind of let you guys know, in case you want to know if the Creator Sprint might be a good fit for you. Any of the tiers, basically, today. Basically, there's a WhatsApp number. I think I even have it down here somewhere. And yeah, you can basically chat to my community manager, Florian, on WhatsApp. Just text him. He's not going to bite. You can also hop on a call with him, and he can walk you over all these things, what the Creator Sprint actually is, how we can help you, and how to get access to all these AI tools and stuff like this. And yeah, that's one thing you could do. Does your tool? Oh, there you go. It's going so fast. Does your tool work for accounts in Spanish? Yes. It actually does. We have some clients who've been using this in multiple languages. I didn't know for sure at the beginning, but they confirmed they work pretty well. So honestly, it's a little crazy how well some of these tools work. In some sense, they're even better than me. In some sense, if you know what I mean. Because I fed like millions of data points. I created, I don't know, you guys probably might not know what this whole thing is about, but basically something called a vector, multiple vector databases. And yeah, of all my lessons, a bunch of roasts, a lot of roasts actually, all my videos, live sessions, masterminds, and then literally fine tuning it with examples. That was like, I do this basically every week. It's a pain in the ass. But this is what I mean. Sometimes it gets so good that I'm like, I never even said that. I totally agree with that, but I would have not even come up with that. So crazy. So okay, so we have one contender here just because, see, that's how you hook me. My starting was amazing, but now I stuck my account handle. Well, the starting looked a little better than it actually is. Now, my starting, amazing. You didn't tell me your niche and your problem. Why do you think why do you think you stuck? But maths. This is actually the second hook that I had. His account is maths. So let's actually pull it up right here. Goddle maths. Starting seems like it was amazing. Following, not bad. And 1 billion reach globally with, honestly, this is a font, right? It looks like it's a font. So these things you want to just leave them out. Like if this is like some specialty font that makes it bold or makes it look different. Yes, it makes it look different for some accounts, but some phones literally can't render this. Plus the algorithm can't deal with this and just sees, well, it's a bunch of weird symbols. So it's like, okay, probably the spam score might go up because I don't know what's going on. And Instagram really hates potential spammers. So the first line, obviously, 1 billion reach globally. Like, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, I have no idea who you are. What's even up with your content? Oh man, we have a lot of things to uncover here. But nobody cares if you reach the billion globally. There's a way to kind of make this angle work in the stories while you blow up. But yeah, not like this. 6 years experience. The only like experience in what? Maths? But like what maths? I don't understand. Like what is the, what can I take away? Like what is the pain point that I need to have in order to follow you? Best place for question practice. Okay. So you need to get a little bit more clear on your messaging. So naturally, I scroll down here and I see it's all black. So what I would do is give you the benefit of the doubt and refresh again. And then it's black. And then I'd be gone. Because it's like there's something wrong. There's no content. It's bullshit, right? So that's not a good way of doing things. We can see it's obviously it's something that you want to try to do. I can see you've had a bunch of videos blow up quite a lot. But I'm pretty sure if we go back to our old thing here, even if you've had a bunch of followers blow up, and this basically proves the point that I made beforehand. Let's say you have 64 million views, which is a lot. I'd love to know how many profile visits you got. You know, a lot of times on average is around 10%, for example. So 64 million, 10%, it's 6.4 million profile visits. And you got how many followers from them? Way, way less than that, 31K. So it tells the algorithm there was millions of people come into this profile, and obviously because they thought something's off, they bounced, and you got millions of negative data points showing the algorithm, well, it's not really an interesting profile. And slowly your reach will go down and you will not get shown a lot. So let's take a look at this quickly. Okay, it's one of the quiz types of things, which is interesting. This, by the way, stuff like this generally works like crazy because people just wanna. The brain is a problem solver, and this is basically how hooks work and everything works. But yeah, okay, difficulty level. It's honestly, it's a perfect video apart from this typo or grammar mistake. But maybe it's even part of that. Comment your answer. So there's everything is there. You probably have a very high watch time because people keep displaying. You have difficulty level, so people are like, oh, cool. This might not be hard. I might be part of the top 12% or whatever. And then you have the call to action for the comments. Beautiful. Yeah, but let's take a look into your latest one. So this one is, if you just see the contrast of this is way more advanced and this is way more abstract. This reminds people of school. So it could be that you want to target those people, and then 11K is cool if you can then basically, and we haven't even had time today to talk about the monetization angle. Let me know in the comments if you want me to talk about this more. But basically, if you trigger and like you come up with some sort of program that helps them pass a certain math test or whatever it is. There's so many people that I know that have like, like a mentorship system to help people pass the, what's it called? You know what I mean? The SATs, or the military. I know somebody who actually helps people pass the military test because they have very similar questions there. So this is one thing you could try, an angle. Try to find out, just to kind of quickly talk about this right here before we wrap things up here, is you're a math guy, right? Obviously, that sets you apart a lot. Obviously, you don't want to be a university teacher or a teacher because then you'll be poor at some point. At least you're never going to get rich. Let's put it that way. Not saying we don't need teachers, quite the opposite. I'm actually thinking teachers should get paid way more. But I would do, so you kind of have, no, that's the wrong one. You kind of have an idea about your niche. Fix these things and fix this. Probably put, because nobody really cares about your face, as sad as this might sound. So put some more math references in there. And the second thing I do is go ahead and really research your audience. Who's your audience? And who's the audience you want to target? Because chances are there is an audience that has money, right? And listen closely right now, because this could literally make you millions. I'm not even exaggerating here. Audience, I forgot the E. So like I said, there might be people who want to pass a certain test, LSAT. I could think of, they might be rich, or this military. I don't even know if they ask for math questions in the LSAT, or the military, Navy, whatever it is, or pilots. Probably not, because they will go to pilots. But anything that requires math as some sort of secondary or higher education as a test, right? So you have to research people and research angles of the parts of your target audience that have money and that are willing to pay money for solving their issue, which is solving math things. And then you basically, I'll give you a quick blueprint before we wrap this whole thing up here, is basically, first of all, and by the way, we also talk about this in the sprint, the creator sprint. We just talked about this in the creator mentorship cohort. But the first thing is I would start to offer one-on-one consulting sessions, basically math tutoring just online. And you really, start with whatever you think you're worth, right? Do a little research. I actually started with around $147 when I first started doing this. Not math, but like one-on-one consultations. I think it's for an hour. I think it's way too cheap. Right now it's $1,500, but there's a waiting list. Even at $4,000, it wouldn't be profitable for me, honestly, at this point. But think of something and start to get your first few in. Again, everybody, let me know if you want a blueprint on actually how to get these people, how to structure this. By the way, we talk about this also in the creator sprint. And then use those calls that are paid to get more insights into your target audience. Okay? And these insights are going to be the actual gold that you get while being paid for it, which is kind of this is the cherry on top. Now, then understanding all the pain points and like also what they would actually, how much this is actually worth and like what they need it for, then you start to create content really around their major pain, right? And then it's okay. You don't have to have 64 million views. This would be an example of it's okay if you get 10K views per video, because if the 10K people that you reach are people who are willing to pay 5K, let's say, for passing whatever test that they have, right? And this whatever test and this whatever pain there is, you want to make part of your content. And based off of that, then obviously you start to create an offer, let's say 5K. And then you basically just need 5 people every month to get 20 to 25K, right? With this. Now, obviously this sounds way easier right now. I make it sound a lot easier than it actually is. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's more than doable, definitely. And I think you might be potentially sitting on a gold mine. So with that being said, we have come to the end today just because I'm literally not allowed to talk anymore and my voice is gone and I want to be able to speak more, a little more. It was a pleasure. How do I do research on my audience on Instagram? I might have some videos on there. I do have some videos. I think some of my recent videos have that. And yeah, again, if you want to take part of the Creator Sprint. heyDominik.com/sprint, or a link down below at some point. I know it's not there right now. There's multiple ways of joining in. The Creator Mentorship right now is fully booked until at least August. Maybe more, but probably, for sure August. If you want to know if the Creator Sprint or the Sprint Plus, which is the version where you get to hop on calls with my team, and where we help you with all the milestones and with all the things, text Florian. It's here. I think it should be here. Don't ask me. Let me just let's just draw a heart. There you go. Beautiful. Text Florian on his WhatsApp. And he can basically walk you through all of these things. And if you want to take part in more of these reviews, I have a bunch of videos coming up. And unfortunately, the next live stream is going to be probably in 6 weeks, because that's how long I'm not allowed to have live sessions as per my doctor. Still, put them there. There should be a link somewhere to put in your accounts. That being said, have a good one. I'll see you again pretty soon. And yeah, be good kids, I guess. Goodbye.